All right, guys, so we're going to start the first part of the digestive system. Like I told you before, this one is going to have a lot of details in it. We're going to go a lot more into this system than any one we have gone over so far. So I will be breaking it into two videos, and you will need to take really, really good C notes. Okay, so let's talk about the function of the digestive system. Obviously, the first one is ingestion, where food enters your mouth. Digestion is going to start taking place in the mouth. It is the first organ involved in the digestive system. Digestion is actually the process that breaks down food into small molecules. Now, we know that our whole body is made up of trillions and trillions of cells. Well, every single cell in our body needs energy in the form of glucose. Well, we don't just eat straight glucose. Our body has to break it down from the food that we do eat and then deliver it to every cell. So that is the whole process of digestion. So let's talk about the two different types of digestion. Mechanical digestion, which is where food is chewed and churned. Mechanical is kind of like a physical change. You're changing the way it looks, the size, the shape, but you're not making anything new. So an example of mechanical digestion would be like when you're chewing your food. You're ripping it, you're grinding it, you're making it smaller, but it's still the same food. It's just like smaller pieces of lettuce or smaller pieces of cheese. The second type of digestion is called chemical digestion, and this starts happening in the mouth, but mainly in the stomach as well. This is where you actually do start breaking down those larger food molecules into smaller molecules that can be absorbed by the cell. Now, the difference between mechanical and chemical is mechanical, you're just changing the size, where chemical, you're chemically breaking it down. You're taking that lettuce and breaking it into cellulose or sucrose or glucose, like lots of different chemical compounds. So therefore, you are making something new. So a chemical does start in the mouth with our salivary glands. Our stomach then does a part, but most of the chemical digestion takes place in the smaller intestines. So let's talk about absorption. Absorption is when all those small molecules that we finally have digested and broken down are taken into the body cells. And then the last part is elimination, where we are trying to get rid of any unabsorbed food molecules that have passed out of the body or anything that our body does not need. We are going to remove it, eliminate it. So here's a question. I want you to write these on the left-hand side and just write a number 1 and then tell me whether you think it is A, B, C, or D. So which is not a function of the digestive system? Breaking down food into molecules that can be used, absorbing food molecules into the blood and delivering them to the body, changing waste into molecules the body can use, eliminating undigested waste from the body. So again, A, B, C, or D, and just put it on the left. So let's talk about organs in the digestive tract. Like we said, the first organ involved is the mouth. This is where digestion begins. The tongue and the teeth mechanically start to break up food. Then in the mouth, you also have saliva, which chemically digests food. Saliva is mostly made up of water. However, it does contain some enzymes which start to break the process down. So again, your mouth is doing mechanical and chemical digestion. And then the last thing is swallowing. The epiglottis, which is this, let's see if you can see it, this small flap right here. It is a small flap of tissue that automatically closes over your trachea, which is your windpipe, when you're swallowing. Now, we know that our esophagus is made out of smooth muscle, and as we swallow, the epiglottis is going to cover the trachea so it doesn't allow food and drink to go into our lungs. Now, you might have heard the expression, it went down the wrong pipe or it's gone down the wrong tube. That's what they're talking about. Sometimes it does slip, and we will get some food or liquid into our trachea, and our automatic response is to start coughing. You want to start coughing and contracting those muscles to get it back out, to go back down the esophagus where it should. So let's talk about the esophagus. The esophagus is a smooth tube made out of smooth muscle that connects from the mouth to the stomach, okay? Right? This is called your food tube in layman's terms. Smooth muscle forces food into the muscle-lined esophagus. And then there are rhythmic muscular contractions, which are going to start to push the food down, okay? These rhythmic muscular contractions are called peristalsis, okay? Peristalsis. So let's go to the stomach. Food undergoes mechanical digestion in the stomach by the churning of the food. Now, your stomach is just pretty much a big hollow bag made of smooth muscle. And once the food gets in there, there's a lot of acidic juices and acids waiting in there. And the stomach will start to contract. And as it's doing that, it's mixing and churning the food with that stomach acid. But the actual turning and moving is mechanical. Now, once the acid in your stomach, which is hydrochloric acid, starts to break down the food into complex proteins, that is chemical. So again, your stomach, just like your mouth, does both. And then your peristalsis pushes the food towards the stomach's exit. So which is not an example of mechanical digestion? A, chewing your food. B, your tongue breaking up food. C, smooth muscles in your stomach churning food. Or D, pepsin and hydrochloric acid breaking down proteins. Again, put this on the left side under number 1. 3, what are the muscles contracting that push food through the digestive system called? Elimination, peristalsis, epiglottis, or pepsin? 4, what is this structure right here? The mouth, the epiglottis, the esophagus, or the stomach? Okay, so let's continue with the organs in the digestive tract. Now we're on the small intestines. Your small intestines might be thin, but they are very, very long, about 6 meters long in an adult. This is where most digestion happens here. So after your food has left your stomach, it is going to enter into your small intestines. This is where your intestinal juices, which are full of enzymes, are really going to start breaking the food down into those molecules that your cells can absorb. Okay, so your small intestines, this is where most of the digestion happens. Make sure you put a big star by that. Now, digestion helpers, there are other organs that can play a big part in that, and this is the liver. The liver produces bile, which helps to break up fats, like dishwashing detergent helps to break up grease. So your liver is going to make bile, which is going to join into the digestive tract and then be stored in the gallbladder. Gallbladder is stored here until it is released into the small intestine. So that's where the bile is stored, is in the gallbladder, but it is made in the liver. Okay, and then you have your pancreas. Your pancreas produces pancreatic juices that are released into small intestines to break down proteins, starches, and fats. So, like your liver produces bile to break down fats, your pancreas also does, but along with proteins and starches. Okay, so this is where I'm going to stop. We still need to continue talking about the small intestines because, like I told you, these notes are a lot more detailed. So if you're looking back and you don't have the 4 organs so far and you're pretty much not writing the things that I have on this slide, you need to go back and replay it and watch it again. Okay, because if you want to we have lots of fun, cool, gross labs that we're going to do next week. So I need you to have your notes. All right, have a good weekend. Bye.